It's not a scientific fact that bodies have one of two biological sexes.
Biological sex is a scam.
We in the trans community need you to stop using bioessentialist language. What is bioessentialist language? Well, that's when you use terms like male or female anatomy to refer to your downstairs parts.
Shouldn't that language be called the truth? Why do obvious facts need a label? Why label obvious facts as something negative? Facts about, let's say, biology are not positive or negative. They're just facts.
When you do this, you're playing into a false narrative that bodies have one of two biological sexes. This is not a scientific fact, but instead a myth disproved by the existence of intersex people.
There are only two biological sexes, and intersex people are either males or females. Intersex people are not a third sex. A male is a person who has the potential to produce sperm. A female is a person who has the potential to produce eggs. Biological sex is determined by reproductive cells, and only two types exist: sperm and eggs. Reproductive cells are also called gametes. Look it up.
Transphobes take this language and use it to exclude us from gendered spaces.
What does that even mean? Facts are not transphobic. I am so tired of this term. I mean, does it even mean anything? Maybe transphobic means that you are telling the truth. So maybe it's actually a positive thing to be transphobic.
What can you do instead? You can always say, this is what a cis female body looks like, or a cis male body looks like. It's a little extra work, but it's worth it to protect the already vulnerable trans community.
Well, I gotta respect the self-awareness. No, I don't respect it actually, but glad to hear you acknowledge the trans community is super sensitive. Something doesn't add up here. What does a cis female body look like? Your definition of a cis female body is something that I have as a trans man. I no longer have my breasts, and I know that you can't see it, but I have also removed my reproductive system. I've been on testosterone for over 4.5 years, and it masculinized, is that a word? It made my body look masculine. But does that mean my body is not female anymore? No. If you disagree with me, do you think that women who also get hysterectomies, get their reproductive system removed, are not women anymore? Do you think that female bodybuilders who are on steroids, which is testosterone, are not women anymore? You see, the thing is, no matter what medicine you're on, no matter what surgery you get, you can never change your biology. And real transsexuals don't need a third category to describe their bodies. It's kind of weird. My body is and will always be female. And no one in this world needs to change the way they think, the way they speak, or view biological sex just because I exist. Believe it or not, but transsexuals' existence doesn't change a goddamn thing about biology and reality in general.
Anybody who tells me that I'm a biological female is going to get blocked.
Honey, you can block as many people as you want, but you will always be a female.
Not only because that's a transphobic thing to say to me, but also because they're wrong.
Again, it's almost like being transphobic is a positive thing. I want to make merch so bad that says proud transphobe. But I think many of you are too scared to buy it. And I get it, but it could be quite fun though. Us transphobes over here are not wrong. It is very obvious that you're female. And I know you're not used to hearing this, but it's okay. There's nothing wrong with being a female.
Biological sex is a scam, and even if it weren't, my T levels, not female.
Ooh, great argument. You know what? I like this logic. I think I'm gonna identify as a millionaire now. I might not have millions of dollars in my bank account, but that's just a false definition of a millionaire. The fact is, I do have some money in my bank account, so that means I'm a millionaire. You might have a lot more testosterone in your blood than other women, but your body is still female. Do you know why? You still cannot produce the opposite sex gamete.
Biological sex is a fact. It's a reality. But so too is gender identity.
I have never as a trans person used the term gender identity. To say I identify as actually means I pretend to be. The reason why people say I identify as is because they know you know they're actually not said thing. Because if they don't tell you what they identify as, you would just assume that they are a total different thing. The term gender identity is bullshit. I've seen too much Suits. Bullshit. God damn it. You can determine someone's biological sex. You can actually figure out what somebody's sex is. You cannot determine someone's gender identity because it's all up in their heads.
Both are real. Biological sex and gender identity are different, but they're equally valid.
No, Marcus, sex and gender are only two different things for trans people, not for the rest of the world. No. Look, the definition of right and left, the directions, are unchangeable, will always be the same. You cannot claim that left is sometimes right, right is sometimes left. Gender and sex are the same. It doesn't make sense to claim that sometimes a woman is a biological male. A woman is always a biological female. A female is always a woman. Even though my brain doesn't like that I'm saying this, I'm a woman. My existence as a trans man doesn't change the definition of what it means to be a man.
Trans women are women, but they're not the same as other women. They are different from biological women.
Then how can you claim they're women? Can't you hear how stupid you sound? How can you be this old, have been on this earth for so long, but you still don't know what a woman is? I don't want to sound condescending or arrogant here, but even children know this. If a person doesn't fit the description woman, then they're a man. That's how simple it is.
But that difference is legitimate, it should be accepted and respected.
No, misogyny shouldn't be respected and accepted. It is misogynistic to claim that women don't deserve to have their own category, their own experiences, their own spaces. We don't really hear society trying to change the definition of man, what it means to be a man. For some reason, we're only talking about changing the definition of woman, just in order to include men. Grandpa, you think that women should accept trans women as women, respect them, acknowledge them as women. But why should they? These trans women, fake trans women in my opinion, will never respect biological women. Have you ever heard about this thing called mutual respect? Real transsexual women do respect biological women, and they don't go around saying that trans women are women, and they don't go around and demand to be in women's spaces.
A lot of the trans critics argue that biological sex is the basis on which women are oppressed. And that is partly true. Partly true. In large parts of the world, however, women are also oppressed because they don't conform to the way women are supposed to dress, speak, and act. Women are oppressed because of their gender non-conformity, not their biological sex per se.
How dare you say this? They are being oppressed due to their biological sex. What are you talking about? Gender non-conform... I'm trying to calm down a little bit. There are certain places in this world where women are not allowed to be masculine. And it's due to them being females, women, same thing, that they're being oppressed. If gender identities are valid, are real as much as biological sex, how come the women who are oppressed across the world can't just identify their way out of experiencing oppression? Have you ever heard about female circumcision? Do you know how brutal female circumcisions are? I think that's the perfect example of female oppression, and these females cannot just identify as a man or something in between in order to not get abused like this.
Trans people and many biological women are both oppressed because they don't conform to gender roles and stereotypes.
It's true that passing real transsexual women experience some of the same struggles as biological women. They have to deal with some of the same stuff, like catcalling. But to say that men with gender dysphoria are women due to that? I can't. Let women be women. Leave them alone. Us trans people, we can exist in society without changing it. We actually, out of all people, do not want society to change. So please do not speak for me, old man. You look like a fool, and you're making us trans people look like fools too. Thank you all for watching this video. If you want to see more content like this, remember to hit subscribe and the notification bell. If you want to support me and my channel, you can become a member, or I have my PayPal link in the description down below. Remember to follow me on social media. I love you, and I cannot wait to see you in the comments. Peace out.